All right, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about the welterweight division. Jaron Ennis has something to say to Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. Let's talk about that in this video. This video is brought to you by Boxing Showtimes, a new professional boxing schedule in your pocket. It helps you to keep updated on boxing events and details. Also assists you when you want to find bars near you to watch fights and allows you to set reminders for upcoming fights. Download the Boxing Showtimes for your smartphone and your tablet. Thank you again to our newest sponsors, Boxing Showtimes. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to talk about the welterweight division, specifically Jaron Ennis, who was asked about Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford, and his response about a fight between the two of them and a fight between each other, I think was very, very interesting. So let's talk about that in this video. But before I get into that though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a regular subscriber to the channel, I would ask you, thank you for supporting the channel consistently and watching the videos, coming to the live streams. Also, if you're not a subscriber, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And make sure you hit all notifications so that way you get all of the notifications. We do videos on a daily basis, live stream on a daily basis. I think you'll enjoy the channel. Even if you disagree with me on some stuff, we usually do have really good dialogues in this boxing forum. So make sure you guys, continue to participate. I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, so we got a couple big fights coming up in the next couple months, in the month of April and in the month of May. One is Errol Spence Jr. versus Yordenis Ugas, and the other is that I'm talking about right now. There's obviously really good fights like Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez. And in May, I do believe in May, Canelo versus Dimitri Bivol is going to be that month. But the ones that I'm talking about are Errol Spence Jr. and Yordenis Ugas, but also Brian Castano and Jermell Charlo for the undisputed title at 154 pounds. But on that card will be I believe it's the co-main event, a fight between Jaron Ennis and Custio Clayton. The winner of that fight, because it is the IBF title eliminator, will become the mandatory for Errol Spence Jr. His IBF title, provided, of course, that he gets past Yordenis Ugas on his fight April 30th. Now, I'm doing a lot of videos, have been doing videos for a while talking about Jaron Ennis because, quite honestly, man, I don't need to wait a long period of time to know an excellent fighter when I see one. I've been watching boxing for a very, very long time, and I can name on one hand the number of fighters that I thought were exceptional fighters. The way that I think about Errol Spence Jr., I think about Jaron Ennis that didn't pan out, right? Matter of fact, I really can't think of any that I thought were that excellent of a fighter that did not pan out and wind up being an exceptional fighter, because Jaron Ennis isn't just your average, he's not just your average exceptional prospect in my eye. The guy is pushing up on as close to a no-miss type of prospect as you can get. The guy has absolutely positively everything that you could ask for in the ring. Now, there's some things in the ring that he has not shown yet, but the reason that he hasn't shown them is because nobody that he's gotten in the ring with has been able to test him enough to bring that into question, specifically his chin and his heart, right? You can have a guy that has everything, in the world but a chin, and if he gets hit on that chin, and he can't take the shot, then that's just it. The other one is heart, right? And I think when I consider heart, I'm talking about not just your ability to grind and, really try to pull out a fight, when you're down in a fight, but also the stuff that takes you to get up every morning, to do your workouts, to make sure that you are staying in tip-top shape, being disciplined outside the ring. That stuff takes a constant focus and a dedication to the sport that I would bucket in those intangibles that you call heart, because you're not willing to give up on your prize and your goal, even if you are not in competition, right? So those type of things you have to see over the length of time. And so obviously we've not seen those with Jaron Ennis yet, but I have a suspicion that he's going to be able to show those. However, he was in a recent, and this is the point of the video, he was in a recent interview and he was asked about, about when he thought he was going to get his chance. And he was also asked about who he thought was going to win the fight between, who would win a fight between the number one and the consensus number one and number two fighters in that division, who are Errol Spence Jr., the WBC and the IBF champion, and by the time that fight happens, maybe also the WBA champion, and then Terence Crawford, who's the WBO champion. And while he's like, man, it's really, really tough to pick that. You never really know until they get in the ring. He said, I would give the edge to the guy with the two belts, I guess, right? It said, Errol Spence Jr., I would give him the edge over Terence Crawford. He didn't get into a lot of detail. I have a suspicion it's something beyond just the fact that he has two belts, and he probably just kind of wanted to stay neutral in it. But as far as what he said was, look, when I get my chance against these guys, you can better believe that I'm going to beat both of them. And then when I get on, that's just pretty much going to be about it. And I'm telling you, the way that he says these things and the way he's talking about this stuff, I really do believe that he believes it. It's not some Blair Cobb type of false bravado, where you're just talking out the side of your neck about it. But on the other side, it's also not, the overly respectful, cautious conversations that you have with some other fighters when they're talking about what they're going to do. This dude really does truly believe that he's going to be able to beat Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford if he's given the chance. So he's basically telling these dudes, I'm just waiting on the clock, because sooner or later, one of these dudes are going to have to fight me. And in some circumstances, I would say that, maybe he'll get a shot, maybe he won't get a shot. Because honestly, man, this dude is something. He is the type of fighter that if guys were reluctant champions, that would avoid him, because that is a ton of risk and not a lot of reward out of Jaron Ennis at this point in time in his career. But as far as the talent of Jaron Ennis and the skill set that he has, I absolutely believe that he has got everything that he needs to have as decent a chance to beat Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford as anybody else does, or anybody that those guys have ever fought in their career has. And that's one thing that I think really kind of stands out about him. It's the level of talent that dude has, along with the size that he has. Because Jaron Ennis is somebody that probably could creep up to, by the end of his career, might be able to creep up to 168 pounds. He's that big a guy. Long, very, very strong. Also, I've already seen him in with really big welterweights. And matter of fact, I do believe when he fought Abreu, if you've not seen that Abreu fight, man, go watch that Abreu fight. That dude is so slick with how he pulled that knockout off. But Abreu, I do believe, weighed in as a 154 pounder for that fight, and he's just a really, really big dude, man. But so I'm really looking forward to it, man. And I like the fact that he's gonna get on this pay-per-view card with Jermell Charlo, and I do believe he's gonna be the co-main event on that. I'm not sure what that always means. I guess he'll be the second to last fight before the Jermell Charlo Brian Castano fight. And quite honestly, for me, he's one of the reasons why I am definitely willing to pay for I would pay for the Jermell Charlo Castano fight anyway. I think that undisputed fight, excellent fight, I was going to pay for anyway. But he is definitely an added bonus for that, man. And I cannot wait to see how this stuff pans out with him. As far as, me and my personal fanship goes, I'm a fan of Errol Spence Jr. I'm a fan of Terence Crawford. I'm a fan of Jaron Ennis. So I kind of really do want, just for the sake of me not having to deal with two of my favorite fighters, or one or two of, no matter who won, getting knocked out off, I'd rather see Errol fight Terence, and then whatever they do after that, have the winner fight Jaron. I would hate to see Jaron jump up and beat one of the two dudes before those guys got to see a fight. But, you know, and I don't really think we're too much at risk at that. I think things will get planned out so that Jaron will take over after the two of them leave that weight class, but we'll see. Anyway, man, shout out goes to Jaron Ennis. Love the confidence. Love the fact that he's getting this opportunity on this card. Oh, and also just want to mention that there's another really good young welterweight that just signed with the PBC also, who is, well, not also, because Terence Crawford's not with the PBC and Jaron isn't technically with the PBC, but there's also now Custio Clayton, who's coming into that welterweight division, who was signed by Golden Boy Promotions, was getting promoted by Golden Boy, but is now going over to the PBC. So even when Errol Spence and Terence Crawford are no longer in the division, you even got another really good dude out there, you know, to compete in that division. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.